If you've been scrolling through endless soundbar options, watching the same YouTube comparison after comparison, and still feel like you might end up with something that looks good on paper but falls flat in your living room, you're not alone. The biggest fear most of us share is that one-off purchase that ends up either looking awkward on the wall or sounding like a tin can when the big movie night finally rolls around. That hesitation is exactly why I'm breaking down the definitive technology Mythos 3C65 Ultraslim soundbar today, so you can decide if it actually makes sense for your space before you click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the thing that sets the Mythos 3C65 apart from the sea of boxy bars is the sheer thinness of its cabinet. At less than 2 inches deep, it's basically a piece of modern art you can mount directly on the wall and almost forget it's there. In a typical family room where the TV is already the focal point, that low-profile design means you don't have to sacrifice wall real estate for a speaker that sticks out like a sculpture. The aluminum enclosure feels solid, and the anodized finish gives it a premium look that blends with both matte and glossy decor without clashing. Now, let's talk about the practical side of installation. Because the bar is BESA compatible, you can use the same mounting hardware you already have for your TV. That's a time saver if you're a DIYer who doesn't want to drill extra holes just for audio gear. The wall mount brackets are included, and the process is basically a matter of aligning, tightening a few screws, and you're done. The only hidden trade-off here is that you need a sturdy stud or a solid wall anchor to support the weight of the aluminum cabinet, which is heavier than a typical plastic bar. If your wall is plaster or you're mounting on a thin drywall without studs, you'll want to double-check the mounting instructions or consider a professional install. From a daily use perspective, the Mythos 3C65 shines when you're watching a TV series with dialogue-heavy scenes. The 11-speaker array, split across 3 channels, creates a soundstage that feels wider than the screen itself. In my own living room, the dialogue stays crisp even when the volume is turned up for the climactic battle scenes. Because the bar is passive, you'll need an external amp or a compatible AV receiver, but that actually works to your advantage if you already own a decent amp. The bar's design allows the amp to sit out of sight while the speakers handle the dispersion. If you're someone who already has an AV receiver, you'll appreciate that you don't have to buy a separate powered bar, just a good amp and you're set. One practical strength that often gets missed in marketing blurbs is the IP66 rating. This isn't a feature you need for a typical indoor setup, but if you have a patio or a semi-outdoor entertainment nook where you want to keep the TV and sound bar exposed to the elements, the Mythos can handle rain, dust, and even occasional splashes. I've seen it installed in a covered porch where the bar runs all summer without any sign of moisture intrusion. For most indoor users, this is more of a peace-of-mind bonus than a necessity, but it does speak to the durability of the construction. On the flip side, the passive nature also introduces a drawback for folks who want a plug-and-play solution. Because there's no built-in amp, you can't just hook it up with an HDMI ARC cable and be done. You'll need to run speaker wires to an external amplifier, which adds a bit of complexity. If you're looking for a single-box solution that you can just connect to your TV and start streaming, you might find this extra step a turnoff. Also, the bar doesn't support Dolby Atmos or DTS-X, so if you're aiming for immersive object-based audio with height effects, you'll need to look at a dedicated Atmos-compatible system. Who should buy this? If you already own a decent AV receiver or are planning to upgrade one, and you want a sleek, wall-mounted sound solution that can handle both movies and music without dominating the visual space, the Mythos 3C65 fits nicely. It's also a solid pick for homeowners who care about long-term durability. Think of the IP66 rating, the aircraft-grade aluminum enclosure, and the fact that the speakers are tuned to match other definitive technology models, ensuring a consistent tonal signature across any future upgrades you might add, like rear surround modules. Who should skip it? If you're a first-time soundbar buyer who expects a simple plug it into the TV and go experience, the need for an external amp may feel like an unnecessary hurdle. Likewise, if you live in a very small apartment and don't have space for a wall mount or the ability to run speaker wire through the ceiling or floor, a compact powered bar with integrated amplification might serve you better. Lastly, if immersive height